There you go.
Middle of the olive.
Alrighty. So we said this is the entire the exchange of emes and sheker is the exchange of a king and a slave. That's the parable of the exchange children. And Reb Nosson is giving all kinds of examples, to the manifestation of that particular principle, that is between the Goyim and the Yidden, and it's between a person and himself, and it is between the Tzaddikim, the Rishonim, and between Eli Cohen, Moshe Abutbul, and even within the Ksherim, and even between the Tzaddikim, the real Tzaddikim, even there, there can be a bilbul that they will think that the Tzaddik ha'emet la'amita, Dafka he is the one who is not beseder. To them it's not like it. There's also from this particular bilbul that comes from Echalei Atmorot, from the chamber of exchanges. And he says that this is the differentiation between day and night, as Rabbeinu says, וזה בחינת ההבחנה בין יום ובין לילה, that's the differentiation between day and night. בין אור לחושך, between light and darkness, as Rabbeinu said, שכנגד כל מעשה שמספרים מצדיקים, that opposite every מעשה that they tell of tzaddikim, יש כנגדו מעשה מרשעים. This is opposite, there's a counter action, that there's a מעשה that they say of רשעים. שמספרים גם כן, they also tell of them. Okay, מי שיודע להבדיל בין האור ובין החושך, this is because somebody that knows how to differentiate between light and darkness. Oh, I'm sorry, we are in Seif Yud Aleph. Hilchos Bircot Halacha Gimel Seif Yud Aleph. I am terribly sorry for not being more specific in the beginning of the video. People now won't know what is what. Okay. So Dafka, somebody who can differentiate between light and darkness, he can tell Maises from Tzaddikim and to purify his seichel. And this is what Chazal said in the Medrash, L'avdil bein ha'or v'bein ha'choshech. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu differentiated between the night and the darkness. Or elu ma'aseim shel tzaddikim. The light, this is the ma'aseh of this is the deeds of the tzaddikim. The choshech al ma'aseim shel reshoim. And the choshech are the deeds of the reshoim. Ki ma'aseh shomrim mitzaddikim, because all the stories you tell of tzaddikim and pchinas or. Ma'aseh shel reshoim, and the stories told about reshoim and pchinas choshech, they are the essence of it is darkness. And look, look over there in Likutei Moharan, Siman Reish Lamed Daled. זה בחינת in Torah 234. וזה בחינת ברכס הנויסה נסחביבינו להבחין בין יום ולילה שמבורכים בבוקר. That's the bracha. This is the giver of comprehension to the rooster to differentiate, to differentiate between day and night that you make in the morning. Sheikar bracha ala avchana. The main blessing is on the ability to discern. Shezoichin laavchin ben emes l'sheker, that you're zoichet to differentiate between truth and lie. Shezeh b'chinas avchana ben orach v'choshech. This is the differentiation between light and darkness. B'chinas laavchin ben yom ben layla, to differentiate between day and night. דהיינו מה שישראל הקשרים זוכים לנוצל מבחינת התוס והשקר של החילוש של בן המלך של נחלף. The kosher Yidden are zoichet to be saved from that mistake and the lie and the deceit of this switch of the Ben HaMelech, that switch, which is actually the source of all the mistakes, all the miscomprehensions, all the misconceptions. Everything comes from that. וזה מבחינתנו sichvivina. The word rooster is dafka used a word of sichvi. We usually don't use this word. We use tanegol, we use gever. With sichvi is a very rarely used word. Why dafka this? Sichvi ze halev shesoche. So, כמו שאמרו רבותינו ז"ל, in Eov, is the lev shesoche. I don't exactly know why, how this is. Sichvi is something that is something which is soche, something which is covered and guarded. It's a heart that is covered, that is guarded. Lichos, the differentiation here is I'm not exactly sure how he uses the word soche here. וכמו שאמרו רבותינו ז"ל, כי עיקר ההבחנה בין האור והחושך, the main differentiation between light and darkness, שהוא מבחינת ההבחנה בין אמס לשקר, which is the differentiation between truth and lies בספר, הוא רק בלב, it's only in the heart, לכל חד כפוב דמשל בליבי, each one according to the way that his heart sort of estimates. כי אפשר לברר ולהוכיח האמס על ידי ראיות בשום אופן. It is impossible to prove the truth in any way, shape or form. כי הכל יכולים לסתור מחמת ניצחון. Everything can be negated, because of the taiva to win. ולספר כנגד זה מעשיות של שקר והוכחות של שקר ולסתור ולהעלים את האמס חס ושלום. This is what's going on now, with the Bircot and with the mishpatim and everything. Everything can be broken down. Everything can be negated. You would ma'aseh shel sheker in order to conceal the truth, chas v'sholom. But the main differentiation is in the heart. Each one according to the way that his heart estimates where the truth is. He can tell between day and night, between light and darkness, which is the differentiation between truth and light. This is to know who is the melech, who is the son of the king, and who is the son of the slave. Who is really from the side of the kedusha, and who is really from the side of sitra achara. Levarer ולתקן, מבחינת החליפין, to fix and to re-switch the original switch. שזה כל עבודתנו. This is all our work. לבל נשמתנו to cleanse and to purify our neshama. וכל הניצוצות התלויים בנו, and all the holy sparks that are dependent on us, that are tied to us, לבוא מבחינת כל התמורות, to cleanse them and to actually to retrieve them from the chambers of exchanges, which is this kind of differentiation. When you take a look, this is the entire ma'aseh of Avraham Avinu that came out from Terach, and this is the secret of why Dafka he had to marry, first of all, a Shifcha. We spoke about it once before, that the finer the purification, the stage of purification, that the better is the good and the worse is the bad. We have a mashal that when you cut the wheat, so there's the bad is the straw, which is fully viable food for animals, right? And the good is and then when you differentiate and the husks on top of the wheat, the chaff on top of the wheat, cows and the horses cannot eat it anymore. It's not. But nevertheless, you can do some stuff with it. I think some birds can eat it, or you can fill pillows and mattresses with it. Whatever they used to do, it's still usable. And when after it's ground, after the kernels are ground, and it's sifted, what is left is dirt, is rocks, is it's good for nothing. Then when it's eaten, and the good now becomes life, and the bad is refuse. You cannot make a bracha around it. The higher the stage of purification, the better the good becomes, the higher the good becomes, and the worse the bad becomes. That is the process of when Avraham Avinu, first of all, he came out of Terach, and he had to marry two women because the birah was very, very crude. So one of them is Hagar, so that the bad can go out, and totally one person, one is a Shmuel, and the whole, and being that and the other one is Yitzchak, which is the Tov. Being that this is the very first birah, there is a good in Shmuel. The good in Shmuel is that you can see what a dirty lowlife he is. That he is a walking garbage can. You can see it. This is the kedusha which is in him. So you can see that he's a goy. You can see that he's the bad. That's something. Esav is already. Excuse me, Monsieur Le Beethoven. I'm very cultured.
Keep it of anger.
Yeah, okay. There's culture. There's this is a much higher klipa, which is a lot stinkier. It's Shmuel, that's a book.
See what you get.
You see what you see is what you get. It's like garbage in, garbage out.
The stories of tzaddikim helps.
They're riding the garbage trucks.
Right, and stories of Rishayim is that.
They're cheap, though.
Somebody tells over stories of Rishayim. Does that strengthen the bad? Does it drop?
They can build for cheap.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then so this is a very crude kind of differentiation, but then Yitzchok, but the next birah again is, and of course there was a switch. Ishmael said, I'm the Bechor, I'm the one who yashins. You can see, but as he said, you can see by the words of Sarah Meinu, Ki lo yirash ben amazeim bni, for the son of this maiden servant is not going to inherit with my son. From here you'll learn what was the argument between him and Yitzchak. He says that Rashi says,
Ishmael and Yitzchak.
Yeah, Ishmael and Yitzchak argue. Ishmael told Yitzchak, I'm the Bechor. I was born first. I'm the one who's going to be Yashan of Avinu.
Right.
No, so
Okay. What's it like? They want the Medina. They want everything.
Stop it. Stop the press. This one out. And the Rebbe says, "Whoa, really?" Kadosh Baruch Hu says everything she says. Shema bekola. Avek, arois, at the door. The second now comes a higher birah, which is Yitzchok. Yitzchok is it's his son. I mean, you see, he worried about his son. I mean, but you can see that Avraham is tofel benevius to Sarah. That's what the Medrash says.
Is what?
Is tofel benevius to Sarah. The Sarah was a bigger neviah than Avraham Avinu. So that I don't know, he was a bigger, but his nevius was tofel. I mean, and a chinami, it's a chmonas, whatever. But nevertheless, she saw further. His nevius is the ikar. So then you have Yitzchok. Yitzchok already, the birah is already in one stomach of Rivka. They are both, the good and the bad is already one, is much harder to differentiate. Here it's easy, the son of the maiden servant, that's the bad. The son of the gvira is the good. It's easy to tell. There's no
walking trash can.
Yeah. And the Muslims, by Islam, everybody, they have no problems. They don't go with, we were there, we were second. By Islam, everybody was Muslims. Everybody, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, everybody was a Muslim. Finished the problem.
So what's stupid?
It wasn't the Akedah wasn't Yitzchak, it was the Shmuel. The whole thing, just take the whole pack and caboodle, put it over here, that's it. I was finished. It is amazing. There is an Arab woman who was a member in the Knesset. And she was on this Turkish ship, the Marmara, whatever, and she said on television, that I told them to take care of this person, that he was injured, but they told me they didn't want to. And I said, and she told, because of them, because of the Israelis, he's dead, and this is, she's telling them. There was the security cameras on the ship, photographed the whole video, the whole thing, with sound. And you see her standing there, and they said, we have to take him to treatment. She says, no, he doesn't want to go. Just lying straight face, no problem whatsoever. And if they show it to her, then she, okay, so it didn't work. No big deal. It's not a big deal. I mean, the truth means absolutely nothing. What do you mean? Why is it, totally legitimate? I go as a guy. Anyhow, be that as it may. So over there, you already have, if Yaakov Avinu will be the first one to come out, everybody know Yaakov is the tzaddik, he is the Bechor, and then there's Esav, is the Rasha, he's the second one, and the world would be, it's supposed to be, there comes the switch of Ben HaMelech and Ben HaShifcha. It switches, that Esav comes out first, and Yaakov has to switch it back, and lo and behold, it's switched again by Lavan, which switches Rachel and Leah. Because if Yosef would have been the first one to be born, everybody would have been more that he's the Bechor, and Am Yisrael wouldn't even go to Mitzrayim. They wouldn't send him they wouldn't go to Mitzrayim Bechor. Everything, it's all those switches keep on going, and that's why, the Ovis had to switch all the time.
Switch it back.
Yaakov Avinu had to switch back, from Reuven to Yosef. And within Yosef, you had to switch Ephraim and Menashe. Also, you had to switch everything. Everything became from the first initial switch of the Nachash in Gan Eden with Etz Hadat that he managed to persuade Chava and therefore Adam that to do the opposite of what Kodesh Baruch Hu said is a good thing.
That's the shorish.
That's the initial shorish of everything. Then everybody starts, and even today, the Arabs argue that this is their country, and this is waqf. You cannot take it, and this is we're supposed to die to protect this, protect this, or otherwise everybody dead. I kill you.
You still call me a murderer, I kill you.
Yes. Yeah. How dare you call me murderer? I kill you. You liar. I kill you for this. Terrible. Anyhow, meanwhile, back at the ranch, this switch of Ben HaMelech Ben HaShifcha, that's the this is the avchana between, because the entire avodah is to be involved. Now we're holding a Sifyot base. Ve'ikar, Bircot, Hanusach, we know the main bracha on, the giver of the Sechvi, a comprehension, on the calling of the rooster in Chatzos. This is how you can differentiate between the first half of the night, which is the essence of darkness, between the second half of the night, that's already, even though just by looking at it you won't be able to tell, but nevertheless that's already the beginning of the light of day. The main chokhmah, the main art, so to speak, of the differentiation is dafka at night, in the darkness, when it's difficult, when you can't see it. In the time of darkness, that's the main, the main trick is to be able to tell it then. כי ביום אין הבחנה חידוש כל כך. Daytime, it's light, thank you, like, היינו, כי הגאולה שתבוא מהרה בימינו, הגאולה זו בעזרת השם, the redemption that will come quick in our days, by משיח צדקנו, נקרא אור יום, it's called the light of day. As it is said in Tehillim, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, to tell in the morning your chesed. היינו בעץ הגאולה, the time of the גאולה. As Rashi was mefarish, בכמה מקומות, in a few places, that the Golos, was akin to night. והגאולה was נמשל היום, was akin to day. ואז כשיאיר בוקרן של ישראל, when the morning of Israel, בעזרת השם will shine, יבוא משיח צדקנו, and משיח בעזרת השם will come, ויגאל האמס בעולם, and reveal the truth in the world, אז לא תהיה הבחנה חידוש. And then, being able to tell what's what, that won't be such a big chiddush, that won't such a big trick. Everybody will be able to tell. Kekol yedu emes, everybody will know the truth then. Ikar chiddush is the main thing, the main avoidance, the main toil, the main effort, and the main thing for which you get repaid. Somebody who merits now to be able to tell within the thick of night, the thick of Golos, the darkness of the exile, which is akin to night, to be able to tell between truth and that which isn't true. שזה בחינת להבחין בין היום וללילה בין אור לחושך, to differentiate between day and night and between light and darkness. כי בעבודתנו לא עזבנו אלוקינו, הקדוש ברוך הוא did not forsake us in our slavery. ויתר לנו חסד בתוקף הגאולה, he gave us, a tremendous chesed within the very depth of this galus. ששולח לנו בכל דור ודור צדיקים אמיתיים להכניסנו כיום הזה, he is sending us true tzaddikim, to give us life, let it to sustain us, in this generation, because there is no generation in which Kadosh Baruch Hu forsakes the generation, there are no tzaddikim there. והם חיים אצלנו בתוקף חשכת הלילה. They keep us alive, they sustain us alive within the depth of the darkness, of this bitter darkness, this bitter exile. And what they do is they sustain with it is the ability to hold v'takam od lailo v'titer leveisa v'chagla rosel. They are mekayim the pasuk, and she would get up while it's still night and will give food, to her household and sustenance, to her girls. The tzaddikim amitim shebechol dor, the true tzaddikim in every generation, in the time of the Golos, is like somebody who's waking up, before daylight, and is oisek b'Torah with his talmidim, and he's learning Torah with his pupils. This is extremely and extraordinarily precious in the eyes of Hashem. This is the possible when she would wake up while it's still night. This is also true not only in detail, in particular by the tzaddikim, but also in generality, in the general essence of the world. They wake up before the light of the morning of Israel, and they wake up while it's still night, while the darkness of the exile still is overbearing and still overcomes everything. It looks like night. They give food to their household, and sustenance to the they learn with their students, and they reveal to them the godliness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And they awaken them to tshuva and bring them closer to Avim Shebashamayim. And as Kodem Oyom, Dafka, before the light of day, Kodem Bis Mashiach, before the coming of the Mashiach, as Ikar Ravuso, Misha Zochel Afchinata Ben Yom Alayla. The main chokhmah is, the main trick is now to differentiate between day and night while it's still dark. Between the true tzaddikim that are represented by the light of day. Every tzaddik emes has with him an essence of Moshe Mashiach.
Ikar Avchana po, he's saying. Daenu. בין הצדיקים האמיתיים.
Yeah. Because every tzaddik came with Moshe Mashiach and Or Yom, which is the light of truth. And the sheker is cheshkas laila, is the darkness of night. B'chinas eved, the slave. B'chinas sleep. Because 10 measures of sleep came to the world and 9 the slaves took. So b'chinas arur knan, knan is cursed. B'chinas zuam asanachash sitra demoisa, that's the filth of the snake, that's the sign of death. Shu b'chinas sheker, that's the essence of sheker. And it is said in the Rabbeinu Zal on this Indian that it's very hard to sleep Motzei Shabbos, because you still carry with you the glow from the Kedusha of Shabbos. And sleep is from the side of death, the side of the Sitra Achara. So Motzei Shabbos, you carry with you the residue from Shabbos. So it's difficult to fall asleep. Now that's what the bracha alludes to. The giver that gives to the sechvi a comprehension. The main essence of it is the differentiation of Chatzos Laila. That this is the beginning of the sparkling of the night of day. But it's not daylight yet. This is literally the essence of the tzaddikim, the time of the Golos, which is the shining, this first sparkles of Mashiach. Every tzaddik amiti, every true tzaddik is an essence of Mashiach. As Rabbeinu says a few times, but the light of day has not yet come. That Mashiach Mamash didn't come yet. Who is the essence of the light of day. The main advantage of being able to tell between truth and the lie. The only way to be able to tell is in the heart. Each one the way that his own heart, can estimate. It gives the sechvi comprehension to be able to tell the difference. That's the heart that soicha supposedly that watches out.
It's hot.
Because probably the heart of Sukkot Shemrim probably.
Not hovers over like misakech.
I don't know how exactly, grammatically how he uses it here. Each one, as much as he can foretell by the estimation of his own heart. Each one, according to his own heart, will be able to know and differentiate if he will want to. This is a key word here. Ben Yom Alal, between day and night, between light and darkness, and the truth and the light, because the truth is its own testimony. This is a very important, this is a cardinal sentence over here. The Kodesh Baruch Hu does not trick people. Kodesh Baruch Hu does not give you things that you cannot withstand, and then it says, you didn't do it. That's not what the Kodesh Baruch Hu does.
Where does it say that if he wants to?
Im Yirtzeh.
Efo? I can't see it.
Right up
Im Yirtzeh. Down Im Yirtzeh. Wow.
The Chazon Ish, in his Igeres Emunah v'Bitachon, he says that Emunah is he says this is a regesh when a person quietens down and his heart is quiet from running after the Yetzer, and he has that little peace of mind. This is a regesh dak min adak, something a very subtle. Is that what I think it is?
Sure is.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שכוח ולעשות It wasn't actually the thunder I was worried
raining.
about. Yes, it sounds like, that was, I had a thing like this and it disappeared. Maybe my son took it. No. Anyhow, as I was saying, the thing is that a person is filled with storms, with emotional and mental storms in his life, which keep on muddying the water, kicking the mud and obscuring the water, obscuring the clarity of the water of his das. There's so many times at play. There's so many secrets to keep and to guard, because many times we don't want to admit the truth because we have a secret. I mean, a secret vice or a secret whatever it is, we have a secret, and we want to guard that secret. And the truth is that in most times when it happens, it's not because we're mean people. It's because many times we can feel vulnerable. We can feel, especially if we grew like this as children, where we felt that when we were not protected, that there were no boundaries. People invaded us all the time. So the only way to keep our integrity of ourselves without going crazy is to hide something, because when I'm hiding it, it's mine. When you tell it to somebody, then it becomes public domain. But when you hide it,
it's like
it's
you're
yours.
protecting your identity.
Yes,
Your identity, you have to know what your identity is, so you base it on something. But you're not telling anyone what it is.
You're right. And many times, there's nothing to tell. I mean, what are you going to tell? So lemaisa, sometimes you go and you do something wrong that you cannot tell anybody, just that you have something to protect. You have a secret to protect.
Have an identity.
And so that you can protect your integrity, your structural integrity, so to speak. But the thing is that thing, it's like, as Abrosan says, that there is there used to be expulsion in the Chumash, talking about, that Yehuda came to Yosef, that within, the world, the netherworld of the Sitra Achara, there's a door, that need, like we said now, opens a door to the world of darkness, And once you go through that door, there are doors that lead you further in, and it gets more and more complicated, and it's very, very difficult to be able to tell the difference because your point of view is all skewed, You don't, the truth, no the truth anymore.
So where does it fall?
So what the Nozen is telling you here, Rabbeinu says in Torah Kufid base, that the way to get out of it is to say emes according to where you are. You're not coming to save the world. You're not going, you don't declare world peace. You're not in a Miss Universe contest that you want world peace yet. That's just the truth right now. That's the truth. The way I see it right now. I feel miserable, but I feel like a little miserable. Not really a lot miserable, but a little miserable. So Hashem, please save me. That's what you call crying to Hashem. Yeah, but I'm supposed to scream to us. Says who? That's where you are. You just call him the way you are. Stick to the truth the way you perceive it. Because the truth is the door. And when you're connected, because when you're connected to Tzaddik Emes, the Tzaddik Emes is Etzem Emes. He is the Emes itself. So that when you're connected to it, you are able to see the Nekudas Emes where you are. Just be truthful for the here and now. A little bit, okay? And that enables you to, go one door and then go through another door, all the way back. Because if there are doors to go into the trap, there are obviously doors to go out of the trap. There's it's only this confusion that the klipa, surrounds you and switches you, and there are all kinds of you have character defects, you have broken midos, and you have all kinds of benefits, like we said before, this thing of keeping secrets that keeps you locked in craziness. Nevertheless, it comes to serve a certain purpose, which is to protect you. Now, the point is that you're no longer a child, You haven't been a child for quite a while. That need to protect yourself, is no longer there. But it became a habit. Now it's difficult to get out of. That's the reason why teenagers, they lie. Teenagers lie because what does teenager need to separate from their parents? When they're small, it's braka adavua. You and your parents is one thing. But then, when you reach puberty and you go up, you need to separate from them and become your own person. And the only way to do it is, there's all this acrimony that goes between parents and children, and all this. This is all the act of separation. At that point in time is when teenagers do their lying, because their lie is to protect their, fledgling identity. We are somebody new. I'm not you. I'm me. And they're also being pushed to do all kinds of things that they will need to keep secret.
The man's a psychologist.
That's a God. The man is crazy. The man is unbelievable.
Put your PhD right there.
Yeah, PhD. PhD. No, what I'm saying is, but then it remains with you. It becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Some people get out of it when they grow up, and some people, especially if they have, some kind of a tfeka, a trauma right there in the teenage years, they remain teenagers for the rest of their lives. They lie, they hide, they do whatever it is until,
So it's very important, Joe.
What?
But those years are very important to let them.
Yeah. It remains like that. So this is the. But what the Muslim is saying is that even the depth of the darkness. In the depth of the darkness, you are able to tell what is the truth and what is the lie in yirtzeh, if you want to. And this is because the minute that you're connected to Tzaddik Emes, and you just seek the Emes according to your Madrega, there is one door out from the line. And so you'll get B'ezrat Hashem. So this is the soil of the mystery of Anoisin Laset Mivino Lafkin Ben Yom Uven Laila.